rich think that they have anything they want and that they abuse the poor. However, sometimes the rich forget the story about David and Goliath. Welcome back, guys. It's Motion Recaps again, and today we're covering the 2019 thriller Bacurau. Bacurau is a small settlement in Brazil's remote backcountry. It's shaken by the death of its elderly matriarch, but something strange is happening in the village, and there's little time for mourning. The water supply has been cut off, and empty coffins are turning up on the roadside. One morning, the villagers wake up to find their homes has disappeared from satellite maps completely. Under threat from an unknown enemy, Bacurau braces itself for a bloody, brutal fight for survival. And before we begin, be sure to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and please remain with us until the end to find out how great this movie is. It helps our great community to grow and helps us to strive for the highest quality content for you. So without further ado, let's start. The movie begins with a water truck driving through the nature of Brazil. A man named Erivaldo is driving a truck while a woman named Teresa is next to him. They see a bunch of coffins in the road. They're wrecked and scattered around. And then Teresa sees a dead man lying on the road. He crashed into a truck that was carrying coffins. The duo drives away, but soon they make a stop on one hill. There, Erivaldo shows Teresa a gang outpost where the guy named Lunga is hiding because he's wanted by the police. Erivaldo tells Teresa that Lunga tried to face the gang, but he failed. After that, the duo arrives at the village named Bacurau. A named Damiano welcomes Teresa. She meets with other people, and we find out that she brought vaccines and medicines in her suitcase. And then we find out that her grandmother died, and that Teresa came from the funeral. Everyone mourns because they're a close community. However, a local doctor named Dominguez is furious, and she has an outburst at the funeral. Teresa's father, Plinio, calms the situation down. After that, the villagers part their ways with the deceased through a song. The next day is upon the villagers. Everyone is doing their daily tasks. There is a man with a microphone that tells the news and other information. He informs the villagers that the roads are closed and that Bacurau will be isolated for a few days. Teresa and her former lover named Pacote are reunited and they have breakfast together. Plinio is a school teacher. He tries to show the village on the map to the kids in the school, but he cannot find it. And then he goes to the school computer. However, there is not a single trace of Bacurau on the map. Plinio then shows them an improvised map he created. Later that day, a politician named Tony Jr. arrives, but all the villagers hide from him. There is an ongoing dispute over water rights from the local river, with water being dammed upstream, and Tony is a part of that scheme. Because of that, the people of Bacurau despise him. However, Tony brings them books and some goods. He takes one girl from the village with him for his sexual pleasure and then leaves. Later, we can see Damiano riding a bike. Suddenly, a UFO appears and it follows him. That night, Plinio shows the villagers what Tony gave to them, and he tells them that a lot of food has expired and that they need to be cautious with it. Then Domingos warns them about the drug that Tony sent, and she tells them they must not use it. Villagers then share the goods between themselves. That night, everyone is shocked when the group of horses comes to the village. The following day, villagers try to contact an owner of the horse farm that is nearby. However, a signal is dead and they can't make any contact. Because of that, they take a few horses and two men head out to the farm to check out the situation. Erivaldo arrives with his water truck. People gather round. Teresa and Pacote are there too, and they find out that someone was shooting at the water truck. It has 3 holes and the water is pouring out. Pacote contacts the 2 guys with horses, tell them to watch out, and at that moment, 2 bikers pass them. One of the guys informs Pacote. Everyone watches as the biker duo enters the village. They take their helmets off and we see a man and a woman. They go to the bar for a drink and they talk a little with the bartender. However, the woman secretly plants an unknown device under one table. They talk a little more with the bartender and they head out outside. There they stumble upon Teresa and Pacote and Erivaldo. Pacote is suspicious about them and he asks them if they know anything about the water truck. They tell Pacote that they were just passing by and that they didn't know about their village because it doesn't exist on the map. They were just thirsty and that's why they stopped. Bacurau believes them. The duo makes a few comments about the dead signal, and after that they drive away. The 2 guys from earlier got to the farm. They find out that everyone there is killed in cold blood, and it terrifies them. They try to call Bacurau, but there is no signal, and instead they take a scooter to get there faster. On their way back, they stumble on a motorcyclist duo. The woman asks them if they came from the farm. The men replied positively and the duo shoots them dead. The UFO films everything and we find out that it's a drone. The duo arrives at their headquarters and there they meet with their partners. They're part of the group of mostly American foreigners led by Michael. And then they're chastised for killing the two men, as killing two people will deprive the foreigners of 2 chances to score points. After receiving unheard instructions through earpieces, the foreigners execute the motorbike couple and argue over who did the killing and are entitled to the points. The group plans to attack Bacurau. Bacote and Damiano go to check the farm and they find the dead bodies of his men. Bacote figures out that Bacurau is in danger. He packs up the bodies of dead villagers and he goes to Lunga's hideout. There he meets him and he tells him everything that happened. One of Lunga's men recognizes his dead cousin in the car, and Lunga decides to help the village because they're one people and they have the same enemy. That night, Lunga arrives with his men and Bacote to Bacurau. All the villagers are shocked when they see Lunga. First, they treat him and his men with dinner, and then everyone buries 2 dead guys. The kids are playing outside and they chase each other to the border of the village. There, they stop to play a game of venturing into the dark. Whoever goes deeper into the darkness is a winner. The first kid goes and he returns without problems. The second one goes, but he stumbles upon a Michael man and he gets shot. Everyone gathers around to check the situation out, and the kid's mother is devastated when she finds out what happened to her boy. They carry him back to the village. One couple decides to leave the village for good, knowing that something bad is brewing. They drive away, but soon they're intercepted by Michael's people, who kill them, and then they have sex while the drone is filming everything. Back at the headquarters, Michael's men are fighting because of the dead kid. One is angry at another because he didn't sign up for that. He gets angry at Michael and he insults him. Michael pulls out his gun and he shoots the guy. Luckily, the guy was wearing a bulletproof vest, so he survived. However, Michael's warned him he will kill him next time. The next day, Domino is chilling while watering his plants naked. A man and a woman sneak near his house to kill him. The man lights the house roof and then he peeks into the house, and that was the biggest mistake of his life. The man's head explodes and the woman is terrified. She shoots like crazy, but soon she's put down by Domino's wife, who shoots her. She's still alive but heavily wounded. Domino and his wife approach her and they communicate with her through her translating device. They ask her if she wants to live or die. She tells them she wants to live and they take her to the village for treatment. And then we can see that people in the village are putting something in their mouths. Michael is with his men and they split up in order to surround the village. Michael stumbles upon Dominguez, who is cooking stew. Dominguez puts her coat on, and Michael asks her whose blood is on it, and Dominguez tells him it's from a woman they found and that she died because she lost a lot of blood. Michael gets to the high point while his people are slowly going inside of the village. Everything is silent, and there's no trace of the people. Everyone feels tension. Suddenly, a truck with coffins arrives. 2 guys come out of it and Michael shoots them dead. The woman is bored and she complains about how she wants to shoot, and then she fires a few shots from the hip. At that moment, a bunch of villagers show up in the windows and they start blasting. The rain of bullets flies at the pair and they die immediately. The guy in the museum gets alerted. Slowly, the hand with a revolver emerges from the trapdoor. By the nails, we know that it's Lunga. He shoots the guy in the neck and then he gets out and he chops him with a machete. Michael knows everything has gone terribly, and because of that, he kills one of his men. The other one escapes, but he gets right into Lunga and other villagers. Michael takes his gun to kill himself, but he gets a vision of Teresa's grandmother. Suddenly, a man shows up behind him with a rifle in his hands. The villagers realize that everyone is dead, and soon they get out of hiding on the streets. Villagers clean the mess they made, and they get coffins for the dead. Tony shows up, and he's all confused. Bacardi and Lunga come in front of Tony. Tony asks them where the tourists are, and Lunga tells him that all of them are dead, and Tony gets scared. And then Michael shows up with a man who caught him. Michael calls Tony, but Tony acts like he doesn't know him. Everyone knows Tony's lying. An old lady brings a mask and Dominguez puts it on Tony's face. He's all tied up and he's sitting on a donkey. The man on the microphone announces that they will banish Tony into the wild and that he will face the love of cactuses, thorn bushes, and deadly animals. Michael watches as the man leads the donkey and Tony away. He knows that punishment awaits him and he accepts it bravely. He enters the hole in the ground and Lunga shuts the door after him, and the movie ends with villagers burying him alive. that's our video for today. Feel free to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, and also hit the bell icon so you'd be notified if we have a new movie for you. And after this video, don't forget to check out these videos we've attached for you. See you next time.